look at just how many Day 1 Game Pass Ultimate titles we've already got confirmed for next year? Because it is a lot. We will be eating good, and here's what we'll be eating. Remember, Game Pass Ultimate subscribers get over 75 games a year straight to the service on day 1 of their release. So here are some of those day 1s so far. First up, we've got Menace. This turn-based tactics game has you going from planet to planet answering distress calls as best you can. The odds are against you, so you'll have to make every decision wisely, from planning out each attack to managing your soldiers on a personal level and handling your relationships with local factions and arms dealers. With procedurally generated multi-mission operations, a huge cast of characters, and an equally huge arsenal of weapons and equipment to get to grips with, Menace promises a ton of tactical depth and an endless amount of replayability. And it'll be available day 1 on Game Pass Ultimate on February 5th. If your New Year's resolution is to spend more time around gun-shaped aliens who crack wise while blasting away at the opponents of an intergalactic anti-human conspiracy, then boy do I have the incredibly specific game for you. Set to arrive on February 13th, High on Life 2 brings more wacky weapons, vibrant planets, and absurd fourth wall breaking humor to Squanch Games' satirical first-person shooter series. Like a boss who shrinks himself down so he can chase you through the game's menus. It's true, they told me at Gamescom. You also get a shiny new skateboard to zoom around on, so expect an even faster, funnier adventure this time around. With Ralph Ineson, he's in it this time as well.
Let me explain this very carefully. Oh, you didn't even wait for me to finish explaining.
I don't know about you, but when I'm not embarking on an epic adventure to save the galaxy, I love a game that lets me run a little business, do little tasks, like TCG Card Shop Simulator. This retail sim puts you in charge of your very own trading card store. Organize your shelves to draw in your customers and host tournaments to really get things going. Then it's time to get high on your own supply. High rarity cards, that is. As you rip open packs and try to snag some super valuable cards to sell on at a premium. It really is the good life, and you'll get to enjoy it all when TCG Card Shop Simulator arrives day 1 in early 2026. Guys, I said there was going to be a lot of games next year, so if you haven't already, pause the video and go get yourself a cup of tea. I'll wait. Game Pass Ultimate is a place to be for five-a-side football with Rematch joining this year and Freestyle Football 2 set to sign in the second quarter of 2026. Now, if we can just grab 8 more, we'll have enough for a five-a-side game of five-a-side games. Yeah. Freestyle Football 2 takes the same one-player, one-character approach as Rematch, but gives it a hero shooter spin, with a roster of super-powered footballers to pick from. Take advantage of their special skills, develop your own playstyle, and work in tandem with your teammates to dominate the pitch. Whether you're playing in Freestyle Football 2's esports-ready competitive multiplayer or enjoying the drama of its single-player story mode. Do you dream of leaving your life behind, taking to the road in a camper van and immersing yourself in nature? But do you also simultaneously really not want to do that because bugs and stuff? Well, then you should split the difference by playing the open world camper van adventure, Outbound. The modular building system lets you hook your van up with all the amenities it'll need to feel like home, while Mother Nature provides you with resources that you can craft into tools and cook up into delicious meals. But the thing I'm really looking forward to doing in Outbound when it arrives in 2026 is just driving around, soaking up the scenery, and seeing what secrets I can unearth. I'm nosy. We can look forward to a bunch of good things set to arrive in spring 2026. Warmer weather, blooming flowers, and the dystopian action platformer Replaced. Set in an alternate 1980s, this dark sci-fi tale stars an AI consciousness trapped in a human body. Trapped in a cyberpunk city where things are decidedly not great. I mean, they look great thanks to the game's stylish pixel art, but they are not great. A 2D action platformer with fluid combat, clever puzzles, and a truly eerie atmosphere, Replaced could be the perfect title to follow Silksong with. In early 2026, we've got Super Meat Boy 3D! That's right, everyone's favourite slab of imperiled bloody flesh is back, and now he's got a whole new dimension to bound through. and a whole new dimension for the game to chuck grinders, buzzsaws, and missiles at him from too. We're all just meat for the grinder in these games, and yeah, I still kind of can't wait. Developed in collaboration with the actual honest-to-goodness European Space Agency, Aphelion is a third-person adventure that takes players to an uncharted planet called Persephone. The place is dangerous, cloaked in mystery, and inhabited by something unknown and almost certainly unfriendly. And also it's very chilly. While you're trying not to freeze to death, you can expect an incredible level of realism because Issa, as well as some highly cinematic storytelling with a thought-provoking tale about the nature of human bonds. Because no matter how many light years you travel, the real journey is always the friends you made along the way. In 2026, Armistice is going to take Game Pass Ultimate members on that trip to Paris they've been dreaming of. Although, it might not be exactly what we're expecting. In this third-person roguelike shooter, the land of baguettes and berets has been overrun with demons. As the only celestial power-wielding badass left in town, it's up to you to put things right, no matter how many times you have to die in the process. With a huge range of guns and powers to pick up, it might take you a while to find the best combo that works for you. But once you do, sacre bleu! We all fight with our families from time to time, but not in the way they do in At Fate's End. At least, I hope not. From the creators of Spiritfarer, this unbelievably stylish action-adventure game, and seriously, look how stylish it looks, has you crossing swords with various family members of your family tree. Each one you defeat unlocks a powerful new ability, but if you don't feel like slicing up your nearest and dearest, you can also try to reconcile with them by engaging in deep, emotionally rich conversations. While sword fighting, obviously. There are lots of reasons to be excited about Beast of Reincarnation. There's the fact that it's a brand new adventure from legendary devs Game Freak, the fact that it takes place in a fantastical post-apocalyptic Japan filled with strange, beautiful creatures and creaky robots, or the fact that you'll get to engage some of those strange, beautiful creatures and creaky robots in exciting battles using your samurai sword. But perhaps the biggest reason to get excited for Beast of Reincarnation is that you get to team up with a loyal dog named Ku. Oh. Bistro is a food-filled fantasy game about a peaceful village that's being attacked by monsters. The village's fiercest warriors go out to beat the evil creatures back, but you won't be playing as said warriors, no. You'll be playing as the one who cooks for them. Even more important. They do say that an army march is on its stomach, which actually sounds super inefficient to me. So you'll have to figure out what to serve everybody to keep them fighting fit. That means gathering the freshest ingredients, figuring out the tastiest recipes, and talking to people so you know what they like. Next year, we'll be getting into dad mode again with the sci-fi deck building sequel, Echo Generation 2. Playing as an ordinary dad in extraordinary circumstances, you'll once again get to build up an army of strange and powerful allies as you travel through dimensions in search of a way home. There's a real 80s sci-fi vibe to this one, right down to the synth score and those beautiful voxel graphics. So if you find yourself mourning the end of Stranger Things in 2026, Echo Generation 2 might be just the blast from the past that you're looking for. Turns out voxels are going to be big in 2026, with Erosion also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. This open world adventure features a nifty roguelike mechanic where every time you die, the world around you and everyone in it ages an entire decade. That means you get to see every choice that you make play out in the long run. Whether you decide to join a cult, clone yourself, assemble a cat army, or just blow up entire buildings into a big pile of smoking voxels. The choices are endless in Erosion, and the consequences are too. A new Fable game! A Fable game that is new! New game that is Fable that you have not played before! Yeah! It's true, we'll all be making our grand return to Albion next year. Naturally, there's going to be a whole new cast of eccentric, extremely British characters for us to hang out with, including a giant voiced by Richard Ayoade and a retired adventurer played by Matt King. I tell you what, that Fable is really Moorish. So there's pretty much guaranteed to be giggles aplenty, plus magic, adventure, and all that other good Fable stuff. Now, you might not think that Fable and Forza Horizon 6 have a whole lot in common. One of them is about horsepower, and the other one is about giving your horse magic powers. But they do, actually. They're both made by the talented folks at Playground Games. They're both sequels to series that we're absolutely crazy about, and they'll both give players vast, beautiful new worlds to explore. Which, in the case of Forza Horizon 6, means a trip to Japan, yeah! Of course, they'll both be coming day one to Game Pass Ultimate in 2026. And the final thing that they have in common is that we don't really know very much about either of them at this point. So feel free to hit the comments with all the things that you'd love to see in either of these massive new games. In 2026, Xbox will be marking 25 glorious years, so it makes sense that they're bringing out all the big hitters to celebrate this milestone. And they don't come much bigger than Gears of War. E-Day promises to take players back to the very start of that titular war as our two titular Gears, Dom and Marcus, get to grips with the Locust for the very first time. I wonder how long it takes them to figure out these guys are extremely chainsawable. Guess we'll find out. And while they wait for E-Day to arrive, Game Pass Ultimate members can dive into the rest of the Gears of War franchise, including the recent remake of the OG cover shooter, Gears of War Reloaded. From one iconic Xbox shooter to another, the original campaign from the very first Halo game is coming back better than ever with Halo Campaign Evolved straight onto Game Pass Ultimate on day one. It goes without saying that the new version will be pretty as all hell, with the whole thing having been remade with Unreal Engine 5. And it will also add in loads of the weapons, enemies, and features that appeared in subsequent Halo games. So the mighty Master Chief will now be able to sprint right from the get-go. Yay! And on top of all that, Halo Campaign Evolved will also feature 3 brand new missions set before the events of the original game. From the BAFTA-winning creators of The Artful Escape comes another extremely groovy game with another extremely groovy soundtrack. Mixtape follows 3 friends as they prepare for the final party of their high school lives. They've even put together a playlist for the occasion, only it turns out that they curated it so well it ends up drawing them all into a dreamlike recreation of their most important memories. Playlists are powerful things, kids. Take them seriously. What follows is a gently melancholy game where you get to roam around reminiscing over teenage life while listening to Iggy Pop and The Cure. Nice. The original Planet of Lana is one of the real hidden gems of recent years. A gorgeous 2D puzzle platformer set in a Studio Ghibli-esque world starring a pair of intrepid young heroes as they try to save their planet from an alien invasion. Oh, and one of them is an adorable little cat thing. It's available now on Game Pass Premium and Ultimate and is well worth checking out before Planet of Lana 2 arrives in 2026 onto Game Pass Ultimate. With one solid adventure under their belts, the heroes look better equipped this time around, with wall jumps and run slides thrown into the mix, as well as more precise controls and more refined stealth mechanics. Planet of Lana 2 will take players through raging storms, snow-capped mountains, and deep blue waters for a story that promises to be just as moving and as thoughtful as the first. If you asked us where the next Plague Tale game was going to take us, ancient Minoan times would not have been amongst my first 10 answers. Not mad about it though. Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy is a prequel starring a young plunderer named Sophia who winds up on the Minotaur's Island, which is home to all sorts of dangerous things, including, I would imagine, a Minotaur. Sophia is a fierce warrior, so the gameplay looks closer to the second Plague Tale game, where some situations call for strategy and stealth, while others call for you to just beat the bad guys up real good. And speaking of the second one, if you've already played it, you might recognize Sophia from there. Oh, I can't wait for this one. In Roadside Research, you play as the manager of a petrol station, except you're not really the manager of a petrol station, you're an extraterrestrial who's using that as a cover to conduct covert research on humanity while you lay the groundwork for a full-blown invasion. But you also really do need to manage this petrol station. It's a delightfully ludicrous premise for a game that only gets sillier if you tag in a few mates to play in co-op. Stock shelves, serve customers, scan for data, and try not to look too suspicious when the men in black show up. Roadside Research is basically guaranteed to be the most exciting petrol management sim this side of Saturn, and it'll be a day one addition to Game Pass Ultimate next year. if you're looking for an open world survival game that you can really dive into, look no further than Subnautica 2. Travel to a distant, very watery world and explore its wet, soggy depths. Gather resources and build high-tech gadgets to help you venture even further. Document the plants and animals you encounter while solving the planet's deepest mysteries. Try not to get eaten by a big scary fish though. Subnautica 2 will offer all this and more when it launches into early access in 2026, and it'll let you enjoy the whole aquatic adventure in co-op too. I'm calling it right now. There are no ghosts that the Grand is going to be the best musical hotel renovation sim / open world supernatural mystery game that you have ever played. Now, I know that's a very confusing combination of words, but that's exactly what this game is. By day, you'll renovate your hotel using an array of friendly power tools. By night, you'll use those same tools to fight off vengeful spirits and uncover cryptic clues which will hopefully explain why there actually very much are ghosts at the Grand. Oh, and while all that's going on, you'll be treated to a whole score of musical numbers with everything from laid-back ska tracks to scare punk numbers. Because why not? Tropical 7? Are you joking? Now, I'm sure we'll need to find some time to chill out in 2026. Unfortunately, Tropico 7 will be here to provide us with a lush island paradise where we can indulge in some rest, relaxation, and perhaps just a little bit of militaristic authoritarianism. You know, as a treat. The latest entry in this zany island building sim series will let you literally build your island with a new terraforming feature that can be used to craft mountains, beaches, and entire new chunks of land in the blink of an eye. There's also a new antagonist for El Presidente to take on in the story-driven campaign, and a reworked military system that lets you directly control your units so you can thwart your new rival with an extra bit of panache. I cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait. Are you joking? I'm not doing anything else in 2026. I'm playing Tropico 7. Oh, I can't wait! It was so much fun, Tropico 6. Crush your enemies! Wildkin is a funny, fuzzy little game that combines cozy town building and social simming with epic seafaring monster battling adventure. Get your household ship shaped, spruce up your town, and then head off into the unknown where monsters, treasures, and all sorts of new gizmos await. There are loads of characters to meet and to bond with, most of whom have some ridiculous problem that they'd love for you to solve, like finding their misplaced socks. And you can also team up with real people online in up to 4-player co-op, allowing you to bond with them and help solve their ridiculous problems too. Then we've got a game featuring trains so crazy, they make the ones Ozzy Osbourne sang about seem like regular trains. Denge Attack! It's basically a skating game where you do ollies, kickflips, and all that other cool stuff with an actual train rather than a skateboard. And all in the name of taking down an evil corporation. The whole thing takes place in a wacky anime world that's bursting with colour and full of strange characters. They'll win boss battles against moving castles, magic girls, and mechanical worms, and you've got a game that is truly off the rails. Although, not literally, I guess. Anyway, it looks really fun. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but it can also be worth millions of pounds if you use said picture to plan out an elaborate art heist and steal all the things you took the picture of. Which is precisely what you'll be doing in Snap and Grab. Slinking onto Game Pass Ultimate as a day one release in 2026, this glamorous puzzle adventure game puts you in the no doubt fabulous shoes of a famous fashion photographer who also happens to be a brilliant thief. Travel to exotic locales like the Kyoto Fashion Train and Cairo's disappearing ice hotel. Feast your eyes on the goods and then come back with your crew to rob the place blind. I wouldn't build a nice hotel in Cairo. You know? Hot. In 2026, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will get to return to the world of Vampire Survivors to find that the place has totally changed. Well, not totally. It's still basically a macabre hellscape swarming with bloodthirsty ghouls, but now it's in 2.5D. Oh, and it's also now a deck builder where you navigate one dungeon floor after another, taking on monsters in turn-based before squaring off with an elite baddie at the end, grabbing new cards to power up your deck as you go. Vampire Crawlers will be a day one release onto Game Pass Ultimate sometime next year, and Vampire Survivors is available on Game Pass Essential, Premium, and Ultimate right now. All of these and plenty more titles we haven't even heard of yet will be coming straight to Game Pass Ultimate in 2026. So to make sure you don't miss a single one, subscribe and ring that bell. Bye! See you in 2026!